The purpose of this tutorial is to give teachers in public schools in Ontario, the province of Ontario, Canada, some ideas how you can use Mathify to teach either a synchronous online class or perhaps to record a session and to record the video and have students watch it later if you're doing things asynchronously. Now, in order to do a live lesson using Mathify, you would have to be using Zoom or Microsoft Teams or something like that and share your screen. You can't actually just have Mathify up and have a bunch of students watching, okay, like a tutor would be helping a student. Okay, that's not possible, but you can share your screen. And I wanted to give some examples, and the first three here, now Mathify is for grades 6 to 10 in the province of Ontario. So the first three here, three tabs, are examples that are more elementary, and then the 4 and 5 are a couple of examples of what you might do in a high school class, grades 9 and 10. So first of all, in the first one here, I'm showing an example of how you divide 6 by 3/4, or 3/4, how many times 3/4 goes into 6. So here's my 6 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got a grid behind, so you can see that 6 is actually 4 blocks long. If you want it to be a different amount, you certainly could make it different. And what I've done down here is, and these are all images. Okay, so I didn't actually I created them in Mathify, but I used the snipping tool, I'm a Windows person, to create all these little images. So if I was doing this sort of pictorial examples of how I would divide 6 by 3/4, then I would be doing this kind of thing here. So there's, and I want to see how many of these 3/4 it takes to make 6. So you could, do this kind of thing here. So we're just going along here. So just this is I'm not going to finish all these examples. I'm just giving you an idea what teachers can do to use Mathify in a regular classroom. Well, actually, not a regular classroom, more for online teaching. So actually, I guess you could do this for your classroom too. You could be up at your smartboard or projector and be doing the same thing live in front of your students also. So that would work. So again, this is supposed to be just giving you some ideas what you can do. So flipping over to the second tab here, and you can make up to 5 tabs. I'm dividing 4 by 3/5. So this is another way we could do it. Here's my 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 circles here, and dividing by 3/5. So I have each of these circles divided into 5 equal. They're supposed to be equal parts. So it says directions: use the pencil tool to shade groups of 3/5. So this is the kind of thing I would be doing first here. So I'm going to choose black first. So I want to see how many times 3/5 goes in. So I'm going to shade in 3 of these at a time. So there's a 3/5. I might change colors. So maybe I'll go to green next. So I'm going to shade in. So this is 2 of the parts. So I need 1 more over here. So that's a second 3/5. And maybe I'll switch to purple. So here's another 3/5 right there. And maybe we'll switch to orange. So I only have 1 right here. So I need to shade in 2 more in another circle. So there's 2 done there. And maybe we'll switch to red. So 1, so I can do a full 3 to finish off this circle. And then maybe we'll go back to the color black. And so we can see that we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a bit left over. And you could talk about the 2 parts that are left over. This is another thing that I've done too, is to reveal an answer. Okay, so the kind of thing you might do with a smartboard. So this is just an image that was made. I use the snipping tool to crop it, and then if I want it to be over top of, I'd have to create this 4 divided by 3/5 first, and then upload this image to cover it afterwards. So if you want to erase things, see if I just start to, like, let's say I wanted to do this again, and start erase thing. Notice I erased a whole bunch of things. So we have this undo feature here, and I can click it a few times. Oh, I've got it back now. So actually, that's the redo. So if I wanted to erase that, I'm going to grab a hold of the picture here. It'd be easier for me to like erase parts of this like that, because I have that image out of the way. Now this thing here, it kind of goes down here. So if I drag my eraser tool there, I'm going to erase it too. So I might want to I could just move it out of the way, erase that stuff, and then bring this back and bring my diagram back. So that's probably the quickest way, most efficient way to do that erasing. Let's go to tab number 3 here. So this is more something you might be getting students to do. It doesn't have to be just lessons. You could be giving your students work questions, assignments, or whatever, homework on Mathify too. So this is the kind of thing that you might be doing. And if you give the students questions on Mathify, then, and I'll show you how that can be done at the end here, then the students could come on to Mathify if they have a question about any part of it and get some help with the tutor, and then go merrily on their way and finish their work. Again, these are reveals here to reveal how you could do this, so that kind of thing here. So that's some examples of some things you can do. Well, these are more elementary examples, 1, 2, and 3. In 4 and 5, these are more high school. So in the grade 10, one topic is the quadratic function or quadratic relation. And so the purple graph here is the graph of y equals x squared. I've highlighted 5 points that are often used to graph it. So I have the second parabola here that I've drawn. So I could stretch that a certain amount and reposition here, and talk about how the x coordinates are the same but the y coordinates are doubled, that kind of thing. If we wanted to go back to the regular graph here, I could talk about translations. If I move this 4 units to the right, what's happening to all the points, and then talk about the equation for that. So that's an idea as well. Another topic is factoring in the grade 10 academic course. So if we want to factor 25x squared minus 30xy plus 9y squared, this actually starts with a perfect square. So I have these sort of hidden off the screen. So instead of having to write 25x squared equals 5x all squared, I could have those off the screen. 9y squared is 3y squared, or negative 3y squared. If I want to stick the negative actually in there, then I could just do that. I'd stick my negative in here. And the negative 30xy in the middle is the product of 2, 5x, and the negative 3y. And then here's another example here too. And I could be writing these too if I wanted to write 36a squared is 6a. I'm just using a mouse to write that. If you have a tablet and a stylus, it might be more comfortable for a lot of people. So just, again, giving you some ideas. Up to the last whiteboard. So this is more a grade 9 topic, grade 9 academic, or perhaps grade 10 applied. So if I wanted to graph y equals 3x minus 4. So this is done using y equals mx plus b. So the slope is 3 over 1. So 3 over 1. And the y-intercept is the negative 4 here. So we put a dot at negative 4 on the y-axis, and the slope, the rise is 3, the run is 1. So if you were doing this live, you could, or even recorded too, the students could actually see you counting. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, and then to the right 1. There's another point. If you wanted to illustrate the movement too, you could be drawing arrows. So there's my up 3, and then there's my to the right 1. So illustrate that kind of like that way. Let's go back to the pencil tool. So up 3 to the right 1. There's another point. Up 3, 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. There's another point. 4 points is lots. You can use the line tool to draw the line. So what I often do when I'm tutoring, I'll go 1, 2, 3 over 1. I'll click there, and then there's a nice way to draw that line. So then we could just grab this, or you could write the equation beside it. Y equals negative 3/4 x plus 2. Now I typed that in the text box. We're kind of limited what fractions we can use. I know the alt codes for half, third, 3/4, that kind of thing. There's only a few of them. But of course you could always handwrite it too. So the slope is negative 3/4. Y-intercept is 2. So y-intercept is 2 right here, 2 on the y-axis. And if the slope is negative 3/4, so we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. The students could actually see you doing the counting. And of course we could grab our line. 3, 1, 2, I'm off a bit there. So if I go over 4 this way and up 3, that's going to be a point. So there's my line. Put the equation beside it. Now, once you finished your lesson, if you wanted to share that with the students, you could save. Save it, and you'll always be asked, do you want to go to my stuff or continue working? So I want to go to my stuff. Now if you forgot, this takes you directly to where you can see it. If you forgot and clicked, let's go back to the whiteboard. It's right at the end there. So this is another way to get to my stuff. So if you're a regular teacher, you won't have the My Shifts or Save Chats tab. You just have Save Whiteboards. So this is the math lesson here. And so if you click on that, so this would actually, you could edit the title. If you click on it, you'll give the option of load on the whiteboard or to get a link for sharing. So if you click on that, generate, and then grab it here. You don't have to highlight, you can just click on this. Then I have the URL copied. If I go back to my whiteboard, you can see, I'll put it in the text box here. Whoops, that's going to be too big. But anyway, there's the URL anyway. If your text box is too big, you can do that. Well, it's pretty long. There it is, right there. So that's a link to that Save Whiteboard. So anyway, that's just some ideas on what you can do with Mathify in a regular classroom. And again, if you're sharing whiteboards with students, the nice thing again about it is that if the students need help when they're working by themselves, they can jump on Mathify when it's open, and it's open like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday, and then Sundays as well from 3 to 9:30, I believe it is. So there's lots of times that it's open that tutors can help your students. And that's the end of the tutorial.